Good Monday morning. Well, we enter Revelation 13, verse 1, still inside of that parentheses. And it begins like this. And I saw a beast rising out of the sea with 10 horns and 7 heads with 10 diadems on its horns. It's an interesting note. The Antichrist is referred to in the book of Revelation as the beast 32 times. He's actually never referred to as the Antichrist. It's in the New Testament, it says many Antichrists will come, and that's because there are many people who are Antichrist. But this is the ultimate Antichrist. That's why he's gotten that name. But he's actually referred to as the beast most often. Paul also calls him the man of sin, and he is because he opposes every single thing that Jesus does. But what is revealed here inside of these 10 horns, 7 heads, and 10 diadems on its horn, this is a picture of political power. And if you've ever wondered why Christians tend to resist what is termed globalism inside it, we hear that talked about so often, a globalistic mentality. It's because inside of the Antichrist, it will be complete globalism. The world will be consumed into and absorbed into one political system that he will control. And so one of the reasons it's resisted is because we know what the culmination is. This is the culmination. The Antichrist and his power is the culmination of a one world government that has consumed all the other governments of the world. And we know that in his last 3.5 years, that presumed man of peace will show his true colors, and he's going to make war on this world that he has consumed. So if for those of you that are studying this in a deeper way, if you want to dig in even further to this picture of the Antichrist and what it'll look like, if you look at Daniel 7, you're going to see this taken into an even deeper level. But I'm going to let you do that on your own personal study. So how does the Antichrist rise in his power? How does he come to this place where he's the ultimate political authority of the world? Ron Rhodes, in his book 40 Days Through Revelation, writes this. He says, some Bible expositors say the 7 heads are the principal rulers of the Antichrist's revived Roman Empire. Others suggest that the 7 heads may be successive world empires, which was Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, and then Rome. And the Antichrist ultimately revived Roman Empire. Still others say the 7 heads represent 7 mountains. A mountain can symbolize a kingdom, but this may be a veiled reference to Rome, which was built on 7 hills. So all these views support the idea that the Antichrist's kingdom ultimately will be a revised Roman Empire. And most theologians are going to bring you back to that belief. So that is what the 10 crowns are reflected of, this final kingdom rule. And then the words that the Antichrist speaks are blasphemy towards God like we've never heard. And I know there are some days we think, well, I just heard that, so I've heard it all. Like there's nothing else I could hear that way. Yes. Impossible to believe, but still inerrantly true. There are going to be blasphemies about God that come out of the Antichrist's mouth that will be beyond any blasphemy that's ever been heard before. And it says that he's going to wear out the saints, and he shall think to change the times and the laws, and they shall be given into his hand for a time, times, and half a time. So in that last 3.5 years, he's going to do everything he possibly can do to wear out those that have come to salvation and that are followers of Jesus Christ. This is another reason that some people believe in a mid-tribulation rapture, because God's people are not appointed to wrath. I struggle with a mid-tribulation rapture view because I feel like all of the judgments really are under God's provident hand, even though the Antichrist is doing some and God's doing some. But that this is part of why people believe in a mid-tribulation rapture, because they're not appointed, believers aren't appointed to God's wrath. But the court shall sit in judgment, and his dominion shall be taken away, to be consumed and destroyed to the end, meaning the Antichrist. And the kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of the kingdoms under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. Those saints that he has tried to wear out are eventually going to have all the rule and the reigning. His kingdom is going to be an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. This is letting us know that even with all of the enemy's best efforts, he does not get the last word. That there's coming a day when all of the broken places in our lives and in our world are going to be made right at the hand of God. So as we live here on this earth, and in all the manifold ways the enemy tries to wear us out on any given day, it's a wonderful truth to know that one day his kingdom will be brought to nothing, and this world will dwell inside of our hands to rule and reign with Christ. And that's something worth being excited about even on a Monday.